Imagine this. 1 trillion years from now, the universe has entered its final stage. Galaxies have drifted apart beyond reach, their light swallowed by an endless abyss. Stars, once the beacons of existence, have burned through their fuel, collapsing into frozen remnants. Even the mighty black holes, once devourers of entire worlds, have evaporated into faint whispers of radiation. The universe is dying, its energy stretched thin across a void too vast to comprehend. But somewhere beyond the reach of this cold and fading reality, something extraordinary happens. A spark ignites, not from a dying star, not from the last remnants of a collapsing galaxy, but from intelligence, from a civilization that refused to accept the end, a civilization that found a way to build a new universe. This isn't just a wild fantasy or the premise of a science fiction novel. Some of the greatest minds in physics believe that one day, humanity, or whatever we evolve into, might unlock the power to create a separate, self-sustaining cosmos. A universe that begins as a singularity and expands into something entirely new, following laws of physics that we ourselves design. But how? What kind of technology would such an achievement require? And most importantly, what would it mean for us as creators? Before we dive into the mind-bending mechanics of cosmic engineering, let's take a step back and consider the universe we already know. Everything in existence, the vast galaxies, the fundamental forces, even time itself, emerged from a single moment, the Big Bang, a mysterious event that birthed space itself, setting everything in motion. But what if our universe wasn't the first? What if universes themselves could be born and reborn, branching off like cosmic offspring? Some physicists speculate that we might already be living in a kind of multiverse, a grand, interconnected web of countless realities, each with its own physical rules. One particularly intriguing idea is that black holes may hold the key to universe creation. Theoretical physicist Lee Smolin introduced a concept called cosmological natural selection, suggesting that when a black hole collapses, it could give rise to a new universe on the other side, a universe with slightly altered physical constants. If this is true, then our own universe might be the offspring of another, fine-tuned by the conditions that made black holes abundant. Now imagine taking control of this process. Imagine a civilization so advanced that it could manipulate the fundamental conditions inside a black hole, shaping the very fabric of reality as we know it. But there's a problem. We have no way to see beyond the event horizon of a black hole. Even if new universes are being born from them, there's no way to peer inside and confirm it. And if we ever attempted to create a black hole for the purpose of birthing a new cosmos, we might never know if our experiment succeeded. The newly formed universe would exist independently, sealed off from our own, expanding into its own space-time. We could be cosmic architects, yet forever blind to our own creations. Of course, there's another approach to universe building, one that might not require black holes at all. Some physicists believe that we could create a universe right here, in a controlled laboratory setting. In fact, some argue that it may have already happened. By accident, the Large Hadron Collider, one of the most advanced machines ever built by humanity, smashes particles together at incredible speeds, replicating conditions similar to those just after the Big Bang. Some theorists speculate that, under the right conditions, this kind of experiment could momentarily create a tiny, self-contained pocket of space-time, a baby universe that instantly detaches from our own and expands into its own separate reality. If that's true, it means that, even without knowing it, we may have already created universes. But what if we could do it deliberately? What if, in the distant future, we developed the technology to create an artificial singularity, one that could grow into a full-fledged cosmos? What kind of machine would it take? What kind of energy would be required? And if we could build a new universe from scratch, would we dare to step inside? Every great journey starts with a few brave explorers. Right now, Cosmic Whispers is just beginning, and your support means everything. If you enjoy unraveling the mysteries of the universe, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps us grow this community together. Now here's the real question. If creating a new universe is possible, does that mean our universe was created the same way? Are we living inside a cosmic experiment conducted by an advanced civilization from a higher reality? And if we are, will we one day reach the same level, becoming creators ourselves? Let's entertain a thought. What if our universe wasn't the first? What if it wasn't born out of pure chance, but was in fact created? Not by an omnipotent deity, but by an advanced civilization, a species so far beyond us that they discovered how to manufacture reality itself. If that's true, then the ultimate question arises. Could we do the same? Could future humans, or whatever we become, transcend the limits of our own universe and give birth to a new one? To answer this, we need to understand what it means to create a universe in the first place. At its core, the Big Bang wasn't just an explosion. It was the emergence of space, time, and energy from an infinitely dense point, a singularity. Her singularity so small it defied all physical laws, yet so powerful it expanded into the cosmic tapestry we now inhabit. But here's the catch. Singularities aren't just theoretical. They exist right now, inside black holes. This is where things get truly mind-bending. When a star collapses under its own gravity, it forms a black hole, a region of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. At its center, we believe a singularity exists, where all known physics breaks down. But what if a singularity isn't just a dead end? What if instead it's a gateway? Some physicists propose that when a black hole forms, the singularity at its core doesn't just crush matter into oblivion. It creates an entirely new space-time realm on the other side. A baby universe hidden beyond the event horizon, expanding, just like our own did after the Big Bang. Now, if black holes are birthing new universes, the next question is, could an advanced civilization engineer one? In theory, if we could manipulate the conditions inside a black hole, adjusting the fundamental constants of physics, we could potentially create a universe with custom parameters. A universe where gravity is slightly weaker, where new elements are possible, or even where time flows differently. The implications are staggering, but there's a major problem. We'd have no way to see inside. If a new universe was born, it would exist separately from our own, completely inaccessible. We could be cosmic parents and never even know it. But what if there was a way to create a universe we could access? Something we could step into, explore, even colonize. For that, we need to consider a different method. Some physicists believe it may be possible to create a universe in a laboratory, a process that wouldn't require a black hole at all. Instead, it would rely on what's called false vacuum decay. Right now, our universe exists in what we call a vacuum state, where energy is at its lowest stable level. But what if it's not truly stable? Some theories suggest that, under the right conditions, a small fluctuation in energy could trigger a phase transition, similar to how supercooled water can suddenly crystallize into ice. If we could induce this transition in a controlled way, it could create a new expanding space-time bubble, a tiny, self-contained universe with its own distinct laws of physics. The real question, then, is whether this process has already happened. Could the high-energy collisions inside particle accelerators, like those at the Large Hadron Collider, have accidentally triggered the birth of a microscopic universe, one that instantly separated from our own? If so, then we may have already proven that universe creation is possible. We just don't know it yet. But even if we master the art of universe building, there's another profound question to consider. If we can create a new cosmos, does that mean our universe was created in the same way? If so, who or what built it? And more importantly, what does that make us? If the universe can be created, then what does that say about us? Are we living inside a cosmic construct, a grand experiment initiated by an ancient intelligence? If civilizations in the distant future, or even other beings before us, have mastered the ability to birth universes, then suddenly our reality is no longer a mystery of pure chance. Instead, it could be designed. But if that's true, then where do we stand in this cosmic hierarchy? Are we merely inhabitants of a universe, crafted by higher beings, or are we on the verge of becoming creators ourselves? To grasp the scale of this idea, let's consider an analogy. Imagine a civilization that has reached an almost godlike level of technological advancement. They no longer rely on planets or stars for survival. They manipulate matter, energy, and even space-time itself. To them, creating a new universe is no more complex than splitting an atom was to early humans. This civilization could design space-time structures, adjust fundamental forces, and fine-tune reality itself. They wouldn't just be building planets or megastructures. They would be engineering existence. Now, here's where it gets unsettling. If such a civilization exists, how do we know we're not inside their creation? Some physicists argue that our own universe exhibits qualities that seem eerily fine-tuned for life. The precise values of physical constants, like the strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, and the ratio of dark energy, are balanced on a razor's edge. If any of these values were slightly different, our universe would be vastly different, perhaps even lifeless. Some believe this fine-tuning is evidence that our reality was deliberately constructed, that we are living inside a universe created by a previous intelligence. This idea aligns with the concept of cosmological natural selection. If universes are born from black holes and pass on slight variations of their physical laws, just like biological evolution, then the most common universes would be those that produce more black holes. And what's one thing black holes need to form? Stars. And what do stars allow to exist? Planets, and on at least one of those planets, life. In other words, our universe may have been selected because it favors conditions that eventually lead to intelligent beings. Beings that could one day continue the process by creating new universes of their own. So let's say we do reach this level. Let's say we learn to manipulate quantum fields, harness the energy of an entire galaxy, and collapse matter into a controlled singularity to seed a new universe. What then? Do we leave our universe behind and step into our own creation? We construct entire cosmic realms designed specifically for life, where we play the role of architects, deciding the laws that govern reality. Would we create a universe better than our own, free of suffering and entropy? Or would we let nature take its course, allowing randomness to shape whatever comes next? And here's the most profound question of all. If we create a new universe, does that mean one day its inhabitants, if there are any, will begin to question their own reality, just as we are doing now? Will they wonder if their cosmos was deliberately made? Will they search for signs of their creators, just as we search the skies for hints of ours? Perhaps in some distant future they too will gaze into the abyss and ask the same question we are asking now. Are we living inside a universe that was built by someone else? If we could create a universe, should we? Would it be an act of ultimate discovery or ultimate responsibility? Because with creation comes consequence. If we succeed in engineering a new cosmos, we may never witness what happens inside. It would be an entirely separate realm, expanding beyond our reach, its space-time detached from ours. We wouldn't be able to guide it, control it, or even confirm what kind of reality unfolds within. But let's take this one step further. Imagine a future where we don't just accidentally trigger the birth of a new universe, but deliberately design one. If we can manipulate the fabric of space-time, choose the laws of physics, and set the conditions for existence itself, then we wouldn't just be scientists. We would be something far greater. We would be creators of an entirely new reality, shaping a cosmos that could one day contain its own galaxies, its own planets, its own civilizations. And that raises a haunting question. Would the beings inside ever know? Imagine a world, millions of years from now, where the inhabitants look up at their sky, questioning their place in the vastness of their universe. They build telescopes, study the stars, and develop theories about how their reality came to be. They wonder if it was a cosmic accident, or if an intelligence shaped their existence. But what if the answer is us? What if we were the ones who set their reality into motion, never able to reveal ourselves, just as our own creators, if they exist, remain hidden from us? But here's where the mystery deepens. If we create a universe, what are the odds that we were created in the same way? That the cycle of universe building extends infinitely, with each reality birthing another, like a chain of cosmic dominoes stretching into eternity. If that's true, then our own creators may have been created and their creators before them, an infinite lineage of cosmic engineers. And if that's the case, then perhaps the reason we search for meaning in the universe is because that meaning was placed within us. The desire to understand, to explore, to push the boundaries of knowledge. What if that isn't random? What if it's the very instinct that drives civilizations toward creation? What if we are meant to reach that point? But here's the most unsettling thought of all. What if we are already there? What if the signs have been in front of us all along? What if, deep inside a particle accelerator, in an experiment no one paid much attention to, we've already created the first spark of a new cosmos? One that has long since branched away, expanding into the unknown, with its own stars, its own planets, and perhaps one day its own beings staring up at their sky, asking the same questions we are now. The search for our origins may not end with looking backward into the past. It may require us to look forward, to a future where we become the architects of existence itself. And so I leave you with this question. If you had the power to create a universe, to forge a new reality, would you? Or would you hesitate, knowing that the beings inside might one day ask, "Who made us?" If this video left you with more questions than answers, then you're exactly where you should be. Let's keep the conversation going. Like, share, and drop a comment below. What do you think? Are we on the path to becoming creators, or are we simply chasing the echoes of those who came before us?